Hi guys, welcome back to Rooftop Talks. I really just want to speak on this idea. I think this idea could change the world, and I mean that with sincerity. Peace starts on our plates. If your dinner plate is peaceful, you are very likely to carry that behavior consistently over into the other areas of your life. Peace starts on the dinner plate. It starts with what we teach our children about animals. When a country goes to war, war is fought on many fronts. War is fought physically in the battlefield, it's fought in the technology space and the arms race in preparation, and it's also fought ideologically. To conduct a successful war, one thing is very important to get right, and that is the ideology of the people who are going to be fighting the war. Getting a population of people to be sufficiently violent towards typically their neighbors in a lot of cases, to degrade the enemy and to devalue the enemy in the eyes of the people who are going to be taking their lives. And this is historically just a pattern. Typically what happens is a country will engage in rhetoric to make the enemy out to be lesser than human beings. And often that means degrading them to some kind of bestial form, some kind of animal, or perhaps an animal that doesn't embody the characteristics that we would like to see. The Americans personified the Japanese in the Second World War as some kind of squid or octopus. The Nazis characterized the Jewish people as some kind of rodent. Just as a few examples to pluck out from history, but you'll find this pattern wherever you look in history, in the history of wars, in the history of violence, of the human race. It's very typical. But imagine if the people had been raised since childhood to value all lives, every animal, to value them, respect them, and dignify them. Would we have as many wars? War is a very non-vegan behavior. There's never been a war fought by vegans, unless it be in a war of defense. Have you noticed that? Vegans are very non-violent people in their actions. And that's because to maintain consistency with vegan values, that value is that one should not exploit any creature, regardless of these meaningless divisions by species. Any conscious creature should not be exploited, that we should respect the autonomy of every individual. As a vegan, it's just inconsistent with vegan values to be violent towards people. We're mammals, we evolved from apes, and it's just not consistent with a vegan's principles to initiate violence upon humans. Really think about it as a thought experiment. Would war be such a readily available option if everyone in that parliament or senate were like hardcore vegans? Just doesn't seem like it would be the case, does it? See, this is the problem that we have in our society. The children of our society are conditioned to see some lives as more important, more valuable than other lives, to such a degree that the torture and violation, rape and killing of the out-group is justified by the mere convenience and pleasure of the in-group. It's hierarchical thinking. It's the same kind of thinking that the Nazis had, where they believed that the Übermensch, by being superior beings to the rest of the humans and the undesirables, just required more land. Each Übermensch required more land, and that was an adequate justification to invade Poland and France and expand their borders. It's the same thinking, is what I'm saying. We won't be free of war until the attitude of the people of this planet changes. And not just a subtle change, I think it needs a drastic change. This needs to be changed at the root, which is during childhood. Those first 6 to 8 years of life that each human experiences, that is the time where they come to understand the status quo and they will adopt it as their own. This is cultural reinforcement, social reinforcement. We have to change it right at the base level. We have to talk to the children about this. I know it's difficult because this footage is like traumatizing footage that we have, that we typically use to address the plight of the animals. But we have to find a way to talk to children about this and to get more vegan children. And it's not an exaggeration for me to say that the fate of the world depends on this. A vegan future couldn't come around fast enough. We need this. We might not last long enough to see it happen. I believe this is one of those great barriers to civilization coming into full blossoming. If there's an alien planet out there, if they are more advanced than us, they will have addressed this at some point in their history. We have this next. This is next up on the list. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Why do the farmers wear pajamas? I can see them from my window.
The thing is, Bruno, those people, well, you see, they're not really people at all.
Bruno, who told you it was a farm? Was it Maria?
No. It is a farm, isn't it? Is it to do with your new job?
All you need to know about my work here, Bruno, is that it's very important to our country and to you. We're working very hard to make this world a better place for you to grow up in.
But you're not a farmer. You're a soldier.